Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Hello and welcome to the South Indian. My name is Sudha Sadanand. Let me first bring you up to speed on all the headlines from the south of India on your screens right away. Enforcement Directorate issues notice to Chief Minister Siddaramaya's wife BM Parvati to appear before questioning in the Muda case on 28th of January. BRS leader KT Ramarao or KTR takes a dig at Chief Minister Revant Reddy, says will felicitate him if investments worth rupees 1.78 lakh crores from Davos becomes a reality. Supreme Court rejects plea to transfer corruption case against former Andhra Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy out of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Telangana Chief Minister Revant Reddy writes to Prime Minister Modi, says denial of fair share in the Padma Awards for the state. The man-eater tiger which killed a woman in Wayanad last week found dead with severe injuries. Post-mortem reveals death due to a fight with another tiger. Let's take you through what's in store in the South Indian this evening. Save Cubbon Park. This is a News9 campaign to save the iconic park in Bengaluru. Opposition as well as allies slammed the DMK government over the CB-CID report in the Vengaivayal case. Confusion still over Karnataka Caste survey, neither census nor consensus. In Jana Nayagan, Vijay embodies the charisma of MGR. And a tribute to the pioneer of cardiac surgery in India, Dr. K.M. Cherian. All right, that's our lead story. That's a campaign that News9 is running. Save Cubbon Park. In Bengaluru, a controversial decision has been taken to allow traffic inside the iconic Cubbon Park for 3 hours from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. for a 3-month trial period, specifically on the 2nd and 4th Saturdays of each month. This decision has drawn battle lines between Bengaluru Traffic Police, the State Horticulture Department, environmentalists and walkers who've been fighting to preserve the serenity of the park and protect Bengaluru's lung space from air and noise pollution. So far, traffic was not allowed on 2nd and 4th Saturdays as they are public holidays, but with this decision, traffic shall be allowed during a 3-hour window on these specific days. Over 2,000 people have signed an online petition titled Pradakshine Haki to stop traffic movement inside the park on holidays, urging the government to reconsider the plan. Now, the areas around Cubbon Park which are in focus includes the Vidhana Saudha Garden, Queen's Park, Children's Park, Bamboo Groves, the Legislature Home Garden, Karnataka High Court, Central Library, Government Museum and Visvesvaraya Technological Museum, amongst others. Although the Karnataka State Pollution Control Board, that is KSP-CB, is planning to set up air quality and noise pollution meters for regular checks to see if pollution levels drop, the Horticulture Department is all set to meet with the Chief Secretary to discuss the potential impact of this proposal. Activists are pointing out that studies show bypassing the park only adds an average of 1.5 minutes to commute time, questioning the need for this change. The trial is designated to assess how limited vehicular access might impact traffic congestion in surrounding areas. Traffic police support the plan. Then say that it will alleviate congestion for commuters travelling between South and North Bengaluru. Cubbon Park, Bengaluru's largest green space, is vital for the city's air quality and provides a tranquil escape from the urban chaos that it has now become, the city. It is a popular spot for walkers and those visiting nearby institutions like the High Court. The Cubbon Park Walkers Association has expressed their intent to protest the decision, calling for the park to remain completely traffic-free. Some critics also suspect the timing of the decision, suggesting it might cater to the interest of private clubs with vehicles allowed from 7 to 10 p.m. My colleague Mohammad Wajiullah brings you this ground report. Take a look.
We are going to do a drive-through through the Cubbon Park to give a sense to our viewers on what are the things that are going to change with this new rule that the government has done, or an experiment that the government is doing with regards to the vehicular movements within Cubbon Park. So as we move right now from here, and my camera person is showing you the Cubbon Park, this is the entry gate which we are talking is, this is the Corporation Circle side. From here, if we move inside the Cubbon Park, right in front, the red building that you can see, which my camera person is zooming into, is the Central Library. Now the argument by the government is that in the evenings there is a lot of chock-a-block of vehicle congestion in the surrounding areas of Cubbon Park, and that is why this particular road should be opened on the second Saturdays and on the fourth Saturdays, on 2 Saturdays in a month, just on an experiment basis from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. for 3 hours, to see how much does it help in curbing the traffic congestion. While environmentalist and the former commissioner who had shut this place down, Bhaskar Rao, while speaking to us, had also said that it is a baseless experiment or a mindless experiment that has been done by the government.
Bengaluru has always been a citizens initiative driven city and very focused on preserving its parks, lakes and pavements. Let's debate whether this move shall finally be revoked or not. Joining me first up in this debate is TV Mohandas Pai, chairperson of Manipal Global Education, Manipal University, and then we shall go to other guests. Mr. Pai, a very warm welcome to you. Mr. Pai, I know that you have opposed this move, because my colleagues were saying that they had a word with you. And I think, if I may say this, a lot of thinking people who are old denizens of Bengaluru think this is just an eyewash, it's a hogwash. They are not ready to even, solve the perennial traffic problem in Bengaluru. And suddenly with this, they think all problems will be solved between North and South Bengaluru, sir.
I totally agree with you. I think it's been a long fought out battle to get Cubbon Park back for the citizens. And I think we got it on second Saturdays, fourth Saturdays and Sundays. So when you go there, you'll see people walking, enjoying themselves, and large numbers of people doing that. It is a lung space where most people come to. And now we hear government is encroaching on it in a very unethical manner. And I think it's an oppressive government that is doing that. Let me explain.
Yeah.
Now they say that if 3 hours, if you open up on 2 alternate Saturdays, traffic will improve. Now why didn't they do a Google simulation where they have got the data every day for traffic there for the last 1 or 2 years, and see how to regulate the traffic better for those 3 hours for smoother traffic. They say north to south between 6 a.m. or 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. or whatever it is. Why don't they simulate it to see what are the other steps they must take to make sure the traffic flows more smoothly during the time by cutting off some side roads, etc., elongating the time for the green light to be on for the traffic corridors in that particular area around the Cubbon Park. If they're able to do that, they'll solve the problem. Why do something for 3 hours on 2 days and get the traffic again, and why spoil citizens' right to have some, good refreshment there, good air there? Yes, they will say that Cubbon Park is closed from 7 to 10 p.m., 7 p.m., 10 p.m. for people. People are not there anyway, so we'll do it. But all those are irrelevant. They're not irrelevant because it's an encroachment on our rights to enjoy our park, which we got after a hard-fought battle. It's a sign of a failed government that they are admitting that they're not able to manage the traffic, they're not able to get public transport on, so they have to do all this kind of thing. And how many people are going to benefit? A small number of people will benefit. The great majority of Bengaloreans don't want this. Great majority of Bengaloreans want it to be as it is. Great majority of Bangalore will want Cubbon Park to be closed throughout for traffic. But people also want that. And Sudha, they have shut down Vidhan Sauda. I used to go to Vidhan Sauda Saturdays, Sundays, sit on the steps and enjoy it. They shut it down. What are you trying to do? Vidhan Sauda is the palace of the people. Yeah. Vidhan Sauda belongs to the people. It's paid out of their money. We used to go with our children, sit down there. They put fences there. They don't allow it. They threaten us if you go nearby asking, who are you? Why are you coming? Saturday, Sunday, when they close, allow us inside the Vidhan Sauda. Shut the gates of Vidhan Sauda inside. Others in the park, they don't even do that. I mean, whom are you trying to protect? You're trying to protect political leaders from citizens who elected them. What kind of operation is this?
Mr. Pai, that's what a lot of people are saying. Because the Vidhan Sauda is close by, suddenly this movement, and Mr. Pai, I don't understand. It keeps coming up. February 2024, it was up for then, when there was also talk that, Yadurappa's time, you remember, when there was thing that we will build a high court annex inside, the citizens once again came on, came on to the road and said, what is this? You cannot do this. Why is it that this is a perennial problem? Every year it will come up. They will say, we will allow. Then they will revoke it. Then they will say, we will allow. Why is there no study that when you revoked it, what was the positives of it? There is no study on that.
There is no study on that. Have they made a simulation study to say what is the pollution impact? You can simulate it in technology. You can simulate in technology. Then they'll say, Karnataka Pollution Board will put all this. I mean, that's all rubbish. How do you know those things work at all? Who will work? Who will monitor data? Who will do that? And to think that for 3 hours you do that, entire pollution will come down in that particular area is a very specious argument. In 3 hours, nothing happens for pollution. Pollution is a long-term issue. It does not happen in 3 hours in the evening, right? And Saturdays, Sundays, for 2 Saturdays in a month, it is a joke. Why are you doing that? Why are you again making citizens angry?
It is just it is just kind of lip service. Do you think, Mr. Pai, it is just a lip service to kind of do this balance? Who is behind this? There doesn't seem to be any study on this. And also, let me now be the devil's advocate. I called up a lot of people. They said, let them do. No. 7 to 10, no one is walking around that place. No walkers walk at 7 to 10. I said, but what about the pollution impact? They say every day they are allowing it. 2 days is not going to make a big deal. That's what they are saying.
No, they may say not a big deal, but when you allow it for 2 days at 3 hours on 2 days in a month, please remember there are only about 6 days in a month when you don't have traffic going through, right? Out of which you take away 6 hours of the 3 days, about the 6 days. That's about 5 to 8%. And then to mitigate the pollution that happens inside, we'll take another 15-20% of the total time that is required. And if you do that, next day morning when you come, the pollution will be hanging. Please remember, in the daytime, if there is pollution, the pollution will rise up because the heat on the ground. In the night, it becomes very cool. The pollution will not rise, will stay down in the ground. And next day in the morning, when people come at 6:30 to walk about, there'll be this bad air lying on the ground. Remember that pollution, for the pollution to go up in the air and go away, you need some warmth, you need some heat on the ground that will only come when the sun is there. When sun is not there at 7 o'clock, sun comes down at 6:30 or so at that point of time in winter. When the sun is not there, the pollution will hang about there for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So we will have a very polluted atmosphere on Saturday evening. Next day morning when
Mr.
people
Pai,
come there, the pollution will still be there.
Mr. Pai, whether it's potholes, whether it is constantly this battle about negotiating through Bengaluru, which was once a city of gardens, now this one which comes up every year like a festival, what is the way out? Don't you think there is terrible myopic behavior on the part of not only politicians but also authorities, sir? They don't see, they only have quick fixes.
And this horticulture department is supposed to protect parks. Are they protecting parks? They're harming the parks. And even there in the Cubbon Park, when you go there in the evening, they shut the park down at 6 o'clock. They harass you. They go tell you to get out of the park. It's the people's park. The park should be enjoyed by people 24/7. They say that we can't. You know what they say? We don't have enough money for guards for the 24/7. We'll shut it down. This is the kind of things they do. It's an oppressive government. It is a sign of failure of the government to make the lives of citizens better. Has the lives improved in the last 24 months? No. Life has got worse. Potholes have got worse. The air has got worse. Traffic has got worse. Public transport has not improved. Our metro is 3 years beyond the ground. On top of all this operation, they are trying to do this to hurt citizens. I just don't understand what Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and DCM DK Shivakumar is doing. They are supposed to protect us, take care of us. We elected them to power.
Right.
What are they doing?
Yeah. Before I let you go, what about Bengaluru? Number Bengaluru. Sir, before I let you go, what about number metro, the Bengaluru metro? What is the point, sir? I mean, that also seems to be a big failure. If I have to allow into an iconic park vehicles, then what is the use of having this metro, which was supposed to be a solution for every problem?
The metro has been thoroughly mismanaged for many years. Now we got a good officer with a good man. I hope he remedies this. They could not even order the bogies in town, bogies in time. We have the electronic city line put up. The bogies are not come. They're asking us to wait. Now that one more bogie set is supposed to come in Calcutta, we don't know where it is. We've not seen any news. Now we don't know when they're going on advancing the time. Today we heard a news report to say on MG Road that they're not going to open the full road going on to the commercial street, primarily because the equipment for lowering into the ground for the underground is come only now. I mean, what are they doing? Who needs such bad managers in the metro? It's a sign of a failed government. They must get on this, not make people angry again.
On that note, thank you so much, Mr. Mohandas Pai, for joining us at the opening debate. That was Mohandas Pai, completely mismanaged. He says this thing should be taken back. We need to save Cubbon Park, much like what the News9 campaign is saying. Next up, on the same story, joining me, Sandeep Aniruddhan, Governor, Citizens Agenda for Bengaluru, and we are also waiting for yet another guest to join us. Sandeep Aniruddhan, this, I was talking to Mohandas Pai, this comes up every year like a festival. You know, 2 days we will allow it for 3-hour window so that the pollution is... What kind of, you've always been saying that quick fix solutions will not work for Bengaluru. The city has expanded. It's gone way beyond our hands. Something else needs to be done. We got to go back to the storyboard, Sandeep.
We don't have to go back to the storyboard, Sudha. We just have to go back to our constitution. More and more, I am very shocked to see that the government is becoming anti-nature and anti-people. Let me stress these two things. Anti-nature because it's trying to open the roads through the parks again, whereas there should be actually no road through the park. I don't even see why we're having this negotiation where there is a road through the park and then we're debating whether it should be open or closed. If you ask me, the road should be scrapped. It should be made gardens. It's in the middle of a big garden. Why do you need roads and thoroughfare? Secondly, if you notice, this government has already made another announcement to build roads in the buffer zones of Rajkalways and Lake. This is actually a direct violation of the laws in place. The present operative laws very clearly say that the buffer zone of Rajkalways and Lakes are no development zone, and the government, using taxpayers' money, is announcing a project to violate the law.
All right,
to build roads in those places.
Yeah, just hold your
I don't
thought there.
understand what this government is doing.
All right, just hold your thought there, Sandeep. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also play you the conversation that my colleague Mohammad Wajullah had with former top cop and now member of the BJP in Karnataka, Bhaskar Rao. Take a look, then I get back to Sandeep.
I'm right now at the entrance of Cubbon Park, and to speak to me on this particular issue, I'm joined in by Bhaskar Rao, who's the former commissioner of police, and he's also somebody who had shut these gates in 2020 because he also did not want vehicular movements at that point of time. Sir, now again, 5 years later, the government has decided to open this on an experiment basis. How do you see this? Because they've said it's going to be only on 2 Saturdays, 2nd and 4th Saturdays, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Sir, how do you see this move?
There is no need to make this into a vehicle thoroughfare. There are roads around which can be utilized, and moreover, there is no end to vehicle population. So you cannot plunder what we cannot create. No government has been able to create something of this despite Bangalore having expanded on all 4 directions. So at least why not preserve what we are having here? Why are we plundering this? Tomorrow they will start a road through Lalbagh also over there, saying that they want to connect Siddhapura with Basangudi. They want to be... A road was made here for the convenience of people to walk around, not meant for vehicles to pass through over there. Then they will suddenly say that for 2 hours we are going to allow heavy traffic. Then they will say we have auto rickshaws we have to allow because auto rickshaws have to go over there. So one by one these things are getting destroyed.
All right, you're watching the special show on News9, Save Cubbon Park. And on air with me, Sandeep Aniruddhan, convener, Citizens Agenda for Bengaluru. Sandeep, a lot of people feel that this Cubbon Park, because it is just round the corner is the Vidhana Saudha, therefore these things are done because important people, politicians, they all are there. You know, it is because of that. They have complained, some of them allegedly, that it's very difficult to kind of travel around that place. So please open this up for us. That's what it is being said. Do you think it is the place which has made once again for Cubbon Park, the horticulture department to say that, okay, you know, let's open the traffic, of course, the traffic, to say let's open this up for vehicular traffic on alternate Saturdays, Sandeep Aniruddhan?
Certainly, Sudha, the pressure usually comes from myopic people who are in power. And first, it is obviously the politicians, then bureaucrats, and then a lot of business community who are in the central part of the city will also be hoping to have a quick. Now, this also shows that the government has not made any effort to put in place a very good mass transit system which can take away the traffic load. The traffic load is increasing because we have very poor mass transit. We don't have public transport.
What about the metro?
Sandeep,
what about the metro? It was like, you know, for brand Bengaluru, it's going to solve all the problems. Just now Mohandas Pai said, terribly mismanaged. Nothing has improved.
No, but Mohandas Pai is also touching only on the surface. He is not questioning why the 74th Amendment, which was passed in 1992, should have been implemented. We should have had a Metropolitan Planning Committee, which is the planning authority for the city. We should have employed about 100, 200 transport and urban planners. We haven't had any of those in the last 30 years, and we've had like massive growth. Bengaluru has grown 3 or 4 times in this period when it should have had planning capacity, and we've grown without planning. And nobody, all these VIPs in our city are also so myopic. The ones who can influence, like Mr. Mohandas Pai, there is another lady, Kiran Majumdar. None of them question why governments, one after the other, have been unconstitutional. They don't follow the constitution.
All right, I'll ask you something. You're talking about the amendment, right? There was also a move to build a High Court annex inside the Cubbon Park. You remember that? There was, they all said, they read the Right Act, the citizens, the Parks and Preservation Act 1975. First of all, if you are the authority, you should know what the legalese around it is. Why do it? If I know that if I cross a red light, I'll be challaned, why am I doing it in the first place? Unless I'm terribly crazy in the head.
Sudha, the crazy in the head phenomenon has become a pandemic. You have no idea how many laws and constitution this government is already setting out to violate. They've announced a tunnel road project which is non-planned. You're not supposed to do something like that. And they're planning to spend 50,000 crores on it without environment impact assessment or social impact assessment or public consultation. Then they want to build a slew of flyovers which again are not planned. And then again they want to build those roads in buffer zones which are non-planned. This I think is the largest. This government has got so many plans which are non-statutory, not constitutional. We don't have a planning framework in the first place. The city has no plan. So basically at its foundations, the city is, wrecked. And we also have to see it in the context of how much degradation the city has had to bear. In the last 5 years, we have, in the last 5 decades, in the last 50 years, we've lost 97% of our green cover.
Yeah.
We had 70% green cover in 1970, today it is 2%. And we are not waking up.
Look at the deterioration, like Sandeep Aniruddhan is saying, this is a wake-up call. This is a wake-up call. He says only 2% green cover is now remaining in a city which was once called the City of Gardens. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not save Cubbon Park, it's going to get from bad to worse. But tell me something, Sandeep Aniruddhan, it is also those who are playing devil's advocate, they're saying, what is the big deal about it? 7 to 9, no? On Saturdays, are people walking? The park shuts at 6 o'clock. What is the big fuss about it? Your response to that?
Sudha, you said something wrong in the head. This applies to our entire population. If our politicians are like this, the politicians come from our own society, no? When our society doesn't care about nature, obviously our leaders will not care for nature. And why does this happen? Because our education happens in classrooms. We are cut off from reality, from nature, from everything that's good around us because we get locked up in a classroom for the first 20 years of our life. Something very seriously wrong with this education system which mass produces idiots. We need to change this. We have to have an immersion model of education which we had before the Westerners came to India and imposed this stupid system on us. We have to grow up in nature. We have to grow up in society. We have to grow up among our community elders. We should have intergenerational transfer of wisdom and local wisdom. We have lost all of this. We are talking of a city which about 1,000 years back probably was a dry plateau, but our ancestors built 2,000 lakes, planted trees, and made this city a garden city from a dry plateau.
Tell me something.
We, in the last 200 years, have converted it back into a concrete wasteland.
Yeah, right. Sandeep, I also want to ask you that I'm very, very flummoxed by the whole idea that every year, now in February 2024, it came up again for discussion. I remember Yadurappa's time, it was there again. I remember Bommai's time, it came up again. So you introduce something, you revoke it. You introduce something, you revoke it. What does that mean? It's pretty much like the pollution levels in Delhi, where you do odd even every year between October and January. Then we go back to being happy. Again, we are all breathing, coming up for air. I mean, we live in hell in the capital city. So pretty much Bengaluru does the same thing.
Yes, so unfortunately, we just have knee-jerk responses to everything. We don't address the basics. We don't address the constitutionality. We don't address the real causes. We don't address systemic change. We don't address the system at all. Be it the average citizen, be it influencers like the people you interviewed before, or be it our bureaucrats and politicians. Nobody is interested in systemic change. Everybody panders to a knee-jerk reaction. Oh, people are crying now. We'll make some
but Sandeep, let me tell you, Sandeep, I'll tell you where that comes from. You have to earn a living. You have to kind of go out. It's a very tough thing, life out there. You can only do, why is it that you and I have to cry ourselves hoarse to make the authorities and the government realize something? After all, then why, the thing is that it's their responsibility also. It's dereliction of duty on their part. I can only do this much. I can tell you you're wrong. I can't beat you, no?
No, Sudha, I come again to saying that we are not addressing systemic change. Why? Our constitution has laid out there is a mechanism we have to follow for governance. There's a mechanism we have to follow for planning. And in the constitution, the 74th Amendment, it says we have to have ground up planning. When you say ground up planning, you're talking of area planning committees, ward planning committees, which will form plans for the surroundings, and this will get integrated into the master plan for the city. Till now, we have never done that. We've always imposed master plans from top down by a consultant or something like that. When you start doing actual ground up planning, people will have a say. We still haven't seen it. So people can't imagine it. Similarly, the 74th Amendment also says for governance, we are supposed to have devolved, decentralized and unified city government. We have not seen it because Bengaluru has 25 parastatals. It's a complete mess. We don't have ward committees functioning, area sabhas functioning.
Right, before I let you, Sandeep, I let you go. Before I let you go, Save Cubbon Park is our exclusive campaign. Do you think that this thing should be scrapped of allowing vehicular traffic on alternate Saturdays, Sandeep Aniruddhan?
No, we should scrap traffic on every day. We shouldn't have vehicular access into the park. Why have a park if you're going to have traffic going through it? It doesn't make sense to me. And build good public transport with high density like Tokyo does. In Tokyo, nobody owns vehicles. Tokyo sells cars to the entire world. They have only 30 lakh vehicles in their city when they have 3.5 crore population. They have more than double the population of Bengaluru, but they have only 30 lakh vehicles. In Bengaluru, we have only 1.5 crore people and we have almost 1.5 crore vehicles. What does it say about us?
It just says that we have to, we have to do a lot of rethinking and, lot of kind of change in the way we draw policies. Thank you very much, Sandeep Aniruddhan, for joining us on the debate. Now, there's a story which is coming up from Tamil Nadu. Opposition and allies alike slam Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam government over the CB-CID report in the Vengaivayal case. That's coming up after the break. I'll see you on the other side, ladies and gentlemen.
is IGI certified. Your legacy is IGI certified. Your ambition is IGI certified. Your diamond is IGI certified. Authentic moments need authentic diamonds. Get your diamonds IGI certified. 14-step grading process. 50 years of trust. IGI Trust Certified.
What is to the nines? In literal terms, it's perfection. But to us, it's not just a phrase, it's an attitude. One that starts at your desk and sends a statement to the world. To the nines is about taking charge. It's a way of life where every seam, every fold, is crafted with excellence. It's timeless elegance and uncompromising quality made for the corner office. It's the ideas that inspire redefining order and elevating the tabletop. To the nines, for the leaders of today and the visionaries of tomorrow.
You're watching the South Indian, and our second story today on the show. Vengaivayal DMK is under scanner because of this incident, and I'll tell you what the controversy is all about. In the last week of December 2022, there was a massive outrage in a scheduled caste colony in Vengaivayal village in Pudukkottai district when fecal matter was found mixed in an overhead tank. Yeah, I know, it's inhuman. The incident came to fore after many children began to fall ill after having consumed the contaminated water, and eventually after a test it was proven that the overhead tank had indeed been tampered with. 2 years later, the CB-CID wing of the Tamil Nadu police and submitted to the Madras High Court that it has filed a charge sheet now against 3 members of the Dalit community in the case, namely Sudarshan, Muthukrishnan and Murali Raja. In connection with the crime, according to the CB-CID, the crime was committed owing to a personal vendetta against the Panchayat head of the region, Padma, and her husband, Muttaya, both belonging to the OBC community. The charge sheet claims that the 3 men sought revenge over the dismissal of one Shanmugam, a tank operator who distributed water to Vengaivayal, and how Padma and Muttaya refused to reinstate him. Therefore, revenge. The affidavit further claims evidence of an earlier old dispute between Muttaya and Murali Raja's father, Jeevanandam. Now the findings of the CB-CID is at the center of a raging row and has brought together both allies and opposition parties of the ruling DMK, doubting the intentions of Tamil Nadu police and also demanding a probe by the Central Bureau of Investigation to unearth the real truth. VCK chief Thol Thirumavallavan, who is an ally of the DMK, has raised suspicion that the CB-CID implicated 3 Dalit residents of the same village to hurriedly conclude the investigation in the sensitive case. He also added that CB-CID was lethargic in identifying the culprits even after the High Court of Madras had censured the police over the delay in the probe. Now the opposition BJP and its state chief K. Annamalai said, and I'm quoting him here, "The people of Tamil Nadu no longer trust police under DMK government. We want the investigations to be taken over by the CBI." Povai Satyam of the AIDMK also slammed the DMK over the charge sheet. Listen in.
It clearly shows the failure of this MK Sir-led government. And after 3 years, suddenly the police are able to trace the video files and audio files, which they couldn't make a headway in the last 3 years of time. Clearly indicates that people who have filed a complaint are being framed in this issue. That's what their ally also saying. The ally demand is VCK and other ally demands is that they should be handed over to the CBI. For Kallakurchi, where 68 people lost their lives, AIDMK has to fight it out in the court to seek a CBI inquiry, and which has just started last week. It clearly shows how incompetent this government and governance is. And people are being framed for gains, political gains.
Actor turned politician Vijay, chief of TVK, has demanded an SIT and spoke about the inefficacy of the CB-CID probe and said, "We must ensure a thorough and impartial investigation to identify the real culprits and bring them to justice. The victims and their families have suffered immensely, and it is our responsibility to ensure that they receive the justice they deserve. Meanwhile, Tamil Nadu government has strongly backed the CB-CID probe, saying that the police had analyzed data from 87 mobile phone towers comprising more than 1 lakh phone numbers and examined close to 400 witnesses. Even as the residents of Vengaivayal staged a sit-in in protest over what they feel is a botched-up case, and despite being prevented by the police, the question is how a party like DMK, which proclaims to be a strong adherent of social justice and annihilation of caste, is going to tide over this issue. Let's debate. Joining me, C. Rajasekaran, lawyer and founder of Voice of Tamil Nadu. From Tamil Nadu, Jagdishwaran will also join us. He is the spokesperson for the TVK. And I also have on the phone line Narayanan Tirupati, Vice President of the BJP in Tamil Nadu. Vanakkam to all my guests who have joined. Narayanan Tirupati, first up, I want you to speak about this. You know, there could be a kind of a political reason for Thol Thirumaavallavan to say what he did, because his party represents, you know, the rights of the Dalits and the most backward, and which is nothing wrong, that's politics. But I want from you that please tell the viewers about the doubts you have in this case. Is it because the perpetrators so named are from the same kind of a community? Is that why there is a doubt, Narayanan?
No, first of all, I don't accept what you said that Thol Thirumaavallavan represented Dalits. If at all he had represented Dalits, he would have fought long back, at least before 2 years. And now after this comes, you know, he is trying to create a scene as if they have done justice. No, it is not so.
Okay.
See, the thing is that why this much of delay? 2 years for this issue, which could have been very easily solved by the Tamil Nadu police, have been dragged for more than 2 years. Why? And suddenly, Sudha, what has happened? The day they said in the court that they have charge sheeted on 3% against 3%. Suddenly, in some Tamil media, a lot of audios and videos started roaming. And see, this is very well planned. That's what I say. This is very well planned. Who had leaked these audios and videos to the media? Why not all these 2 years? The day it was told to the court that 3 people have been charged sheeted. Now, some televisions, some media comes and says that a leaked audio has been there, and they are displaying it. That is really, I'm telling you, very worrisome. That means that they are trying to plant something. The police, the government has been trying to plant something. That is why we say we want a CBI inquiry.
All right. Rajasekaran, you're a lawyer by profession and someone who's sharp at these things. Why do you doubt that these 3 people who have been named, the Sudarshan and others, this is all hogwash? The DMK has not been able to solve it, and therefore it should go to the CBI. Of course, which means that the case will be more and more kind of delayed also. Rajasekaran.
Good evening, Sudha.
Hi.
I have my full faith in Tamil Nadu police and CB-CID.
Okay.
Not because I am residing in Tamil Nadu, because if you go by the past history and track record of Tamil Nadu police, it has been equated with Scotland Yard police. Yes, there are some grey areas which had happened in the past and the recent times also. I am not saying 100% everything is fine and good. But as far as this case is concerned, you should understand the case on merits. See, to transfer a case, it takes 3 to 4 months. And to get all the documents and investigation starts, to finalize it, it will take another 6 months. So 1 year is gone. So being an ally of ruling DMK, you think the DMK will take the risk of fixing a false accused or naming the accused who is not involved in the crime, that most heinous crime, I would say,
Right.
In Vengaivayal. So I strongly feel, I opine that the accused have been framed with the right info
All
and
right.
evidence.
So you mean to say that the DMK will not try and name three people who belong to that particular community in order to anger its ally, VCK, run by Paul
No. Kindly don't insinuate something which I'm not saying. See, I'm trying to emphasize the point. See, they very well know.
All right.
The police, the government at helm, because the portfolio is held by the chief minister, the real accused have been named and they have been charge sheeted. That's what my point is.
All right.
Because if you don't corroborate with the evidence and records, you see, police or any
But
police.
Rajasekhar, and I'm sorry, you live in Tamil Nadu. I am from Tamil Nadu. We saw how horribly botched up Armstrong's case was. It's a case in point. Let's go to. I'll come back to you, Rajasekharan. Please, sir.
Allow me to finish this. See, if you confuse me, I will fail to convince you. Come on, let me finish.
I need to go to another guest also, sir. Sir, sorry, sir. I'll come back to you, sir. Thank you, sir. Jagadishwaran, please, if I can have him on the screen, Mr. Jagadishwaran, who's the spokesperson for the TVK. Oh, he's on the phone line with us. Okay, Jagadishwaran, your leader has also spoken about it. He says, let's have an SIT in this case. He's speaking about an SIT. What is the doubts that you have? Because just to say, to play the opposition, one can say CBI, this is botched up, etc. But can you be specific for the benefit of the viewers of the South Indian show? What is it where is the needle of suspicion in this?
See, one thing, on 23rd of January, the CB-CID says there will be delay in filing the charge sheet, and on the next day the charge sheet is filed. So that is where the questions arise. And we say there is nothing wrong in reinvestigating the case if there are questions raised about the findings of the probe. And several concerns have been raised about the persons who have been named as accused. So we are just saying, without any bias, the case should be reinvestigated to find the real culprits involved in the accident, and they should be punished. We can go for CBI, but we have seen CBI cases where it is prolonging for so long. I mean, even in this case, the main problem is it has been prolonging for 2 years, and if we again go to CBI, it might go on and on.
All right.
So we are saying let's go for a court-monitored SIT.
Okay, quickly, I have
to reinvestigate the case. Yes.
All right, Narayanan, I want to ask you that. Is it because of the delay? What is it, the objection of the BJP in this case, that you're saying let it go to CBI? Don't you think the case will be delayed more? And like Rajasekharan said, what does the DMK have to name these three people? They are not gaining anything from it. Quickly, I'm completely, short on time. Narayanan? I think he's left. I think his connection is gone. Okay. Let me come to Rajasekharan. Rajasekharan, do you want to finish what you're saying? Because what TVK is saying, and also Narayanan Tirupati, we've lost his connection, saying that there is a lot of needle of suspicion. You're the only one. But because you're an advocate, I want you to have the last word. Tell me something that do you think the case should be opened, Rajasekharan?
CB-CID investigation cannot work according to the whims and fancies of Narayanan and BJP or whoever concerned. And again, even actor Vijay's party or actor Vijay, they were all sleeping when this Vengaivayal incident happened.
Right.
Suddenly, out of the blue, they come out and say something has happened, and we need SIT, we need CBI. CBI is not the best agency as on date, because they have a very bad track record of sabotaging cases, and they have done a lot of mistakes.
So you are saying
whatever the charge sheet, the charges framed against the accused must be on a legitimate right manner.
Yeah, but what I'm interested in,
not the light wings of the right wing manner.
But no, it's not about right wing or left wing. It's about justice. But I think because VCK has come out with a very strong words. In the coming days, I want to see how this pans out. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us on this debate. Very, very important debate. This is going to test the waters for the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam. And the next story is, of course, coming from Karnataka. Karnataka government has made several flip-flops in the past, be it over the green cess or over the guarantee schemes. What's the real story? And this time around, it's about the census, the caste survey. And we are saying neither census nor consensus. What's the story? The government, like I said, has made several flip-flops, over the guarantee schemes, of course, which it has delivered, but there has been some controversy about it. One issue which has been hanging in the air is the Karnataka Socio-Economic and Education Survey report, which has not yet been tabled before the state cabinet, despite Siddaramaiah saying that it is one of his top priorities of the government and it has to be done. Now, Karnataka's Revenue Minister Krishna Bairegowda has now said that a consensus needs to be arrived at on the report in the state cabinet before it is implemented. He said, and I'm quoting Krishna Bairegowda here, there is a need for a consensus. All have to be united to achieve it in the effort of developing the society. Social fabric cannot be disrupted. The Chief Minister is leading from the front to build consensus to implement it. There are some barriers to implement this survey report. Some may be right or wrong in their opinion, but we have a duty to take everyone along, and efforts are being done to take everyone along, is what Gowda said. He also added that the government wishes to implement the report as it emphasized on providing preferential treatment to marginalized groups. You will remember that the caste survey has gone through several ups and downs. There has been opposition from Karnataka's influential Lingayat and Vokkaliga communities who said that it is unscientific, and of course, Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar is a Vokkaliga. Is that a coincidence? We'll find out. So let's see that if the Karnataka Caste Survey report will ever see the light of the day, because it's now Krishna Bairegowda, who himself has said, Satya Prakash, spokesperson for the KPCC, is joining us. Hi Satya. You know, now it has come from Krishna Bairegowda, very important person in the cabinet. He says there is lack of consensus in the census. Satya, take it away.
Yeah, we all need to understand that what is caste census. Caste census is a diagnostic tool to understand the socio-economic condition, educational conditions of different castes. As ISO 9000 says, what cannot be measured cannot be improved upon. There is an unequal society. Different castes, employment positions, socio-economic conditions are different. We need to build an egalitarian society.
Is there a lack of consensus? Satya Prakash, I understand all that. Your party stands for it. We need an egalitarian society, equality, but the point is there is a lack of consensus even now. That's what Krishna Bairegowda has said. Do you accept that?
We are working towards a consensus is what we are saying.
Within the cabinet, sir.
There are certain apprehensions of few sections. Those sections need not have any apprehensions. Unfortunately, Vokkaligas and Lingayas, there are so many subcastes. The government gave a chance to those castes. Either they can select the Lingayat or the subcaste.
Right.
Many of them prefer to keep their identity, like the Panchamshalis within Lingayats and even within Vokkaligas, the Kunchitigas. That is the problem for the Lingayats and Vokkaligas.
You said it.
Bring all together.
Satya Prakash, we have to bring all of them together. Very well said. That's what Rahul Gandhi has been saying. Everyone. But the point is, when you bring in the Vokkaligas, there has been a problem for Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar, who was meeting the leaders, only recently said, let's not meet, I will meet after Jai Bhim, Jai Bapu. So if there is no consensus within the cabinet, how are you going to table it, sir, in the cabinet, is my worry.
If everything was okay, consensus is not needed. Everyone would have agreed, and by now everything would have. Dissent will be there. Matabhed rata hai, and we need to solve it. That is the job of the Chief Minister. This report will be discussed in the cabinet, and all the apprehensions of DK Shivakumar and others. No, the Chief Minister will address that, and that is when consensus will evolve. And don't forget that the Congress party, the minister, the Chief Minister and the party should not forget that it is the commitment of the Congress party to the people of Karnataka when we went to elections. It is a commitment of Rahul Gandhi to the people of Karnataka and the country as a whole that we are going to implement the caste census.
Satya Prakash, but the point is there is objection from DK Shivakumar. Mr. MB Patil has been speaking about it. There is, of course, murmurs coming from Parameshwara sir also. So it seems that Siddaramaiah is somehow unable to bring it all together. I'm not going into ancient history of it being leaked and all that. The time is now for you to table it for the benefit of the Kannadigas, of the people of Karnataka, Satya Prakash, and there doesn't seem to be, Siddaramaiah seems to be dithering and waffling over it.
We all need to understand, all those leaders also should understand why caste census. Whether the caste census report is good for the society or bad for the society. What are the objectives of the caste census? If the objectives of the caste census is for an egalitarian society to apply to uplift the deprived communities away from their economic, hardships, then no one, including any minister or chief minister, should have any problem with it. As simple as that. What were these people doing when we put that caste census in the manifesto? So everyone agreed at that time.
All right, yeah, that's all okay. But I wish, Satya Prakash, I wish that you find consensus sooner rather than later. It should not be eclipsed like a Grahan, that we do not have consensus. Some people are, so I'm wishing that the socio-economic survey is brought to, the notice of the people so that there can be forward movement. That's all we want as people of this country and of course people of Karnataka. Thank you very much, Satya Prakash.
Congress is for egalitarian society and it is a commitment for the people of Karnataka.
Yeah, all right, okay.
All
right, and on that note, thank you very much, Satya Prakash, for joining us. And coming up next, some very, very nice story. This is in Jana Nayagan. Vijay embodies the charisma of MGR. And look at that. I mean, MGR and Vijay, Jana Nayagan. Vijay embodies MGR's charisma. Nostalgia is always so beautiful, isn't it? Now, the makers of Vijay's much anticipated film, Jana Nayagan, unveiled a second look poster which has sent a wave of excitement amongst fans and evoked curiosity about the film. And what exactly is Vijay's character going to be? The new poster's release comes shortly after the release of the movie's title and first look poster, which presented Vijay as the people's hero. The second look poster goes a step further in portraying Vijay as the people's hero and seems to have evoked the charisma of none other than former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister and legendary actor M.G. Ramachandran, popularly known as MGR. The poster, if you look at it, on your screens right now, features Vijay standing at the center against a bold red background. He is holding a long whip in his hand and striking it in the air with a smile on his face, embodying MGR's powerful presence. The words "Na Nane Tal," which means "if I order," appear beside him, which you can't see here, but it is there, referencing to the legendary song from MGR's 1965 hit Yenga Veettu Pillai, where MGR's character wields a whip to assert his authority and stand firm against adversaries. The bold imagery seems to be an effort towards portraying not just Vijay's cinematic capabilities, but also the kind of image he wants to project in his political journey, according to experts. The symbolism in the poster, ladies and gents, it is still there on the screen, combined with the red hue that represents actually revolution, shows that Vijay could be positioning himself as a strong political force, similar to MGR, who made the leap from being an iconic star to one of Tamil Nadu's most beloved political leaders. Coming up next, a tribute to the pioneer of cardiac surgery in India, Dr. K.M. Cherian. Rest in peace, sir. This is a tribute from News9 to a genius, a pioneer, Dr. K.M. Cherian. India lost a distinguished son, Dr. K.M. Cherian, a pioneer of cardiac surgery, who is credited with performing the country's first heart bypass surgery in 1975. The doctor died at the age of 82 in Bengaluru on Saturday. Just a couple of days ago, his biography titled Just an Instrument was launched virtually at the Kerala Literary Fest. Not only Dr. Cherian performed the country's first bypass surgery successfully nearly 50 years ago, he shall forever be remembered for having performed challenging heart surgeries in newborns and children and for providing access to super specialty treatment through the hospitals that he founded. A native of Kerala, Dr. K.M. Cherian finished his schooling in Alappuzha's Chenganur municipality, where as testimony to his unparalleled contribution stands the super specialty Dr. K.M. Cherian Institute of Medical Sciences. Dr. Cherian later studied medicine at Kasturba Medical College in Bengaluru and began his career as a lecturer at Christian Medical College in Vellore, Tamil Nadu. Yet another feather in his cap, among several others, was being one of the first Indian cardiac surgeons to go abroad, that is Australia, as a senior registrar. He then went on to study at the University of Alabama. Dr. Cherian was also the founder of Frontier Lifeline Hospital, which is a 100-bed cardiac specialty hospital in Chennai that provides care to pediatric patients from India and also 21 other countries. A doctor who distinguished himself beyond compare, Dr. Cherian also boasted of another unique achievement. He's one of the 3 Indian surgeons to have his name engraved on one of the stones at Greece's Kos Island, the birthplace of Hippocrates, who is considered to be the father of modern medicine. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid his tribute at the passing of Dr. K.M. Cherian as follows. Pained by the passing of Dr. K.M. Cherian, one of the most distinguished doctors of our country, his contribution to cardiology will always be monumental, not only saving many lives but also mentoring doctors of the future. His emphasis on technology and innovation always stood out. My thoughts are with his family and friends in this hour of grief. Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, former chief scientist at the WHO, wrote in a post on X, deeply saddened to hear of Dr. K.M. Cherian's passing. His memoir was just released and we had long conversations recently about the future of innovation and health technology development in India. Certainly a source of inspiration to many apart from the countless lives that he served. Dr. K.M. Cherian was the honorary surgeon to the President of India between 1990 and 93 and was also awarded the Padma Shri in 1991. On the behalf of everyone at News9, we pay our tributes to this great Dr. K.M. Cherian. And on that note, thank you for watching the South India Today. I shall be back tomorrow. Until then, thank you. Goodbye.
Start with the end in mind. You need to know where you want to reach. Every morning that we wake up, we are exercising our choice. The destiny is decided. The results are known.